Hello and welcome to a review of set 75382 TIE Interceptor. If you're new, please make sure to subscribe. This set was first released May 1st, 2024 and retails for £200, $230 or €230 and contains 1,931 pieces. This is the main May 4th set for this year, I believe, or how I see it as that is the large UCS one. So last year we had the X-Wing and year before we had the Land Speeder and before that the A-Wing. So this is the typical UCS set you get May 4th. So on the front of the box you have the UCS logo along with the TIE Interceptor logo and the Imperial logo, along with the 25 years of LEGO Star Wars in the top right, along with a beautiful image of the actual set and the LEGO logo, Star Wars logo, and some lovely greebling and information down at the bottom. On the back of the set you have the LEGO logo once again, along with another fabulous image of the actual set, along with the dimension. So that is going to be 33 centimeters high or 40 centimeters long, or 13 inches high on 16 inches long, along with the image of it from the actual show. However, it's not the best image, it's more the Falcon in that one, but yeah, you would probably just prefer the image of the TIE Interceptor, but you do also see the back and how it opened up, along with some more greebling down the bottom. So it looks like to get into this set it is going to be tape tabs, which is something I really quite like. So let's get this opened up and see what's inside. So inside the set, as you would expect, there is a lot of Lego. I haven't actually counted the bags, but it goes up to at least bag 18 looking at that one, and you have a very heavy lot of instructions. And it is not taped up anymore. I think that's mainly for the environment. So let's get these opened up and see what's inside. So inside that instruction manual box you do get the sticker sheet, which is a pretty cool sticker sheet. However, I do wish it was print for this set, and it will add a nice little bit of detail. However, I can't see where it's adding it on the box, but I'm sure I'll see it when I actually add the stickers. And this instruction manual looks amazing. Usually you just get the set at the front angle, however they've taken it from above and that just makes it look a whole lot better. It's in the newer style, so it's in the white background, and you get your QR code if you want to redeem your 20 points. And along the bottom you have the taskbar, which I think it would have been better if they had the TIE Pilot going along, but they haven't. It's just a basic taskbar, and I think, well, I don't think people are going to be happy about it being on this colour background, as that can annoy some people, as it's quite difficult to see the colour sometimes. So I'm going to get this built up and I'll catch you in a second. So just as I was packing away, I found the tile loose, and I mean loose. There was no bag, nothing to protect it, and you can, I'm not sure how well it will show on camera, there's a few scratches, so I would have preferred it in a bag, but they are doing these printed now, which is a lot better, and I'll get more into this information when it is all built up. Okay, so it is now all built up. It took a bit longer than I thought. There's a lot of detail in there, which is really good to see, and this looks absolutely incredible. This is probably one of my favourite UCS sets, just building it and actually looking at it now. So let's have a look at the bottom and work our way just generally up. So starting off at the very bottom, you have the display stand along with the TIE Pilot, the little mouse droid, and the 25 years of LEGO Star Wars. So the TIE Pilot is exclusive to this set, and there is some lovely printing going on there. As you can see, it's got some printing on either arm as well, which is really nice to see. And the basic face print underneath is down there, and there is no reverse one, but it is a really cool, good looking minifigure, and I hope it stays exclusive for this set, as they have been releasing exclusive minifigures in cheaper sets recently. The mouse droid is a pretty basic build. It's using some 1x1 rounded studs just to get the transparent view and just stalls on there quite nicely, and it's a really nice little addition. It's something they didn't need to add, but it's just there as well. The next two parts, you have the 25 years of brick. This shows up in a lot of the sets at the moment. If you get a lot of Star Wars sets in 2024, you're going to have a whole lot of those bricks, and probably more than you're ever going to need. And then you have the printed piece, which is really lovely. I did say it was loose in the box and there is a few scratches, but I'll just leave it there if you want to quickly read the information or to just talk about the rest of it. The stand is a pretty basic stand. I'll show how it connects in a second, but it is mainly just Technic pieces holding it up. So it is quite strong and shouldn't collapse, making your model break. So as you can see, it's a similar way they've used on the, I believe that was the Tantive 4th. The microscale one is just a beam which goes up into the actual set. There's no studs connecting it, nor pins holding it in order to hold it up. And there is just a hole in the bottom of the TIE Interceptor, as you can see there, which should slot on fairly easily. So now let's have a look at the TIE Interceptor as a whole. The wings are just identical either way. You spend the last 8 bags building them. So it gets a bit repetitive. It's just it's not a ×2 or anything, it's just each individual one, so it gets a bit repetitive, but they are really cool looking. They use some lovely techniques here to get these angles. It's mainly the axle joint bits just to get those proper angles, and the guns on the side are pretty decent part usage, and I think it's quite good how they are very flimsy when making it, and they can fall off quite easily, and they need to be lined up if it is to look at its best. Moving on to the side of one of the wings, you have some lovely extra detail here. The way they've managed to do this is using the little 1x1 little sticky out bits. I don't know if that's the way to describe one. I've just grabbed one out of my Bricklink drawers to show you what I mean. They've used these to connect onto, which is a technique I'm seeing quite often in LEGO sets now, and it does allow you to achieve some really cool techniques. So all these pieces here are pushed in using that, so it clips onto the inside of this like piece here, and then this just pulls out and is on a 1x1 rounded stud, I believe. So it's a pretty cool way they've managed to get these details. This is something they wouldn't have been able to do 5-10 years ago, as these pieces weren't available then. For the wings, you do have some slight angle, however you can't get it all the way, as they've got these 1x6 tiles going down here, which I don't think look the best. They look very odd. So if you actually put the wings how they're meant to be, like this, they have quite a big overhang. There's just nothing in between it. I don't think it looks that good, and it's something which does really let down the set in a way. And another part is on the wings. You can see up here, I'm not sure how well it will come across on camera. I believe they could have used a better piece. They've used it in the set, but they haven't used it here, the more pointy angled piece, which would have made this a lot better and without the hole in. But they've used it further down the wing, so I don't know why they've done that. Moving on to the cockpit, this is where the majority of the detail is where the stickers were, which I was a bit confused. And why I couldn't see them is because they're all inside the cockpit, and that is full of detail. So let's open that up and have a look. Before we actually go into the cockpit, I will just show you the back side of it. You have some lovely detail on the insides of the wing as well, which is something completely unnecessary, but it's something they added just to add that extra bit. It's the same on each side, which is really quite cool to see. And then you got this back piece. It's generally, the way they managed to do the angles is quite cool. It's just a clip on one of the 8 clip things. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but they managed to get quite a spherical use here without using many spherical blocks, which is really quite cool. And you can adjust these slightly so they do come out, but that is just so you can get the angles correct. So for the actual cockpit, it's really hard to show everything inside because this comes off, which isn't meant to, it's just how it comes off, it's how it's attached. So you can get a slight view in there, and the other way to open it up is by using the XS port, which is really quite cool. You get some really good angles with it, but it's really hard to actually show what's inside. So I'm going to do my best by taking my camera out of its tripod and showing it around. So you can see in there, these are all the different sticker pieces. They're all the way around inside, so when the TIE pilot is in there, they can see all the information they need. And you have a really cool little control area here, which is the controls of the ship. I'm not sure how well this is going to come across on camera, but you can see it kind of to a degree. But it's one of those things, it's a lot better in person, but it is an incredible amount of detail, which is something they didn't need to do, but it makes it just so much better. So the majority of the pieces inside the cockpit were stickers, like I had previously said, and one of them is the smallest one possible for the X-Wing targeting, which I think should have just been a printed piece. However, you do get printed pieces, so the main cockpit window is along with the entry port, that's all printed. The large piece down here is also printed, so I don't know why they couldn't print the other pieces, unfortunately, but it's what LEGO does. Sometimes they print them all, sometimes they don't. So overall, I think this is probably one of the better UCS sets they've released recently. I prefer it over the X-Wing and the Land Speeder, and probably overall it's one of my favourite ones just because of its sheer look. And it is the second one of these we got, because we got one ages ago, early 2000s. But I don't think it's worth the 200 price point. I believe it'll going to go to Argos later on in the year, so you will be able to pick it up on sale then. And if you haven't already bought it, that's probably when I'd hold off to buy it too, as it is just slightly overpriced for what it is, but it is absolutely amazing. So that's going to be it for this video. If you're new, please make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.